a good ball. The flag stays down. Heaney! Oh!
They scored again! It's Davis again! It's job done now.
Hello everyone and welcome to the final Northern Ireland podcast of 2019 with myself, Adam Johnson and Andy McComb.
Yeah, we've had some great questions, classic one-liners, interesting insights, and then we've heard stuff from guests as well over the year.
So yeah, we're going to go back through some of our best bits through the year with guests such as Gareth McAuley,
Stephen Craigan,
Lawrie Sanchez,
Michael O'Neill,
and plenty more. So let's get on with the best bits right now.
But see, to be honest with you, about the actual goal, I can remember the ball's coming in and I knew the defender was missing it. I knew he was under it, so I'm just thinking, don't miss the target. And then there's a few seconds after that, obviously I've headed it, I've seen it's gone in, and a few seconds after that I just can't remember anything. And then obviously I've slid in the corner, and then I can remember not being able to breathe because all the lads were on top of me.
I don't think any of us could breathe either, to be fair.
It was amazing, and it was brilliant that it happened at that end of the ground, with all our supporters close to it and behind it and that there. So it's something that makes me smile a little bit when I think about it.
And it's probably now one of our most iconic photos. You running away from the goal, head looking up, rain coming down, arms stretched wide. Like, that must be an image now that will live with you forever.
Well, I've headed that many footballs, so I don't know what's around the corner for me. I might not remember it in a few years, but I mean, you see the pictures from it and that there, and it was the whole thing with the rain and just quite theatrical, quite dramatic, and obviously I can't remember a few seconds after it, but the feeling after it and the feeling that the lads got in the dressing room and that when we got back in, it was something that we were all really, really sort of proud of. Not just the goal, the performance. Buzzin McGinn got a goal as well, obviously starting in the Irish League as well, and that really set us up to have a right go at the rest of the tournament.
It was a big thing. But I felt I had a target on my back and it was a matter of waiting for me to fail. We were top of the group. It was a big error not pushing Fulham to stay in charge, to see that period out, to see the qualifying period out one way or the other. Especially as I had three of the players in my squad as well at the same time. And it was horrendous watching and thinking what I would have done and what subsequently happened. And I mean, they came within the last game of not qualifying anyway. I think if I'd have been in charge, we'd have qualified then and there. But the law of the Premier League, we all work in the Premier League. I mean, that's our goal. And when you don't often get a chance to the Premier League. To be fair, I'd previously been offered a chance at the Premier League, but I'd have had to give up Northern Ireland. But it was only to the end of the season. Someone, not that season, but someone earlier, in fact it was that season, someone earlier had come to me and said, a club, Premier League side, and said, would you be prepared to manage the end of the season? We'd have to give up Northern Ireland. And I said, no, I wouldn't. So when Fulham said, you have to give it up, and there's a proper contract, length of contract and everything, it's a really, really tough one. But at the end of the day, we all work with the greatest respect to Northern Ireland. The Premier League is the pinnacle of football as any manager, and if you're offered the chance, you've got to take the chance. So I turned it down once. And I thought, I like Fulham, I like the club, I like the whole atmosphere of the place. I'd have clean board to do what I wanted to do. I thought I'm not going to get a better chance to move to a Premier League side, and so I took it. But yeah, I mean, obviously, as I said earlier, in hindsight, it didn't prove to be the best move, and I should have done more to pursue staying in charge of Northern Ireland, because I could have quite easily done the job at the same time, but there were factors at both ends stopped me doing it.
How much are you going to miss having Gareth around for international trips?
Yeah, very much so. I think people who know people who know me and people who know G know that we are very, very close. The very first time I came into the squad was South America away, and I was still, where was I? I was at Cardiff then. I think I was still like a YT, and it was one of the trips before. I think it was Nigel Worthington's trip where none of the senior players went, but G ended up going, and I was, So I was with an old girlfriend at the time, but I didn't have no credit on my phone, and we were in South America, so I was like, who can I latch on to? So me and G managed to get quite tight. And I kept saying to him, G, can I borrow your phone? Can I borrow your phone, please? He was like, what are you using it for? And I was like, look, it's nothing major. I just need to borrow it. And then I remember using it, and then after the trip, he phoned me. He was like, you racked up my phone bill. It cost me an absolute fortune. And I was like, well, how much is it? How much is it? And he remember me telling me, and I was like, I can't pay that back. I can't pay that back. And ever since then, we've been pretty tight. And for me, our relationship's grown from like meeting like that where we first became mates. And we would text every so often, and like we would always be sharing banter and that type of stuff. And then he sort of moved to being like my big brother, where it's coming away here and other types of things, and keep me in check, ask me what I'm doing, sort of leading me down the straight and narrow, and making sure I'm all right. To sort of like, people think it's just really, really funny to say, like to me, like a father figure. Do you know what I mean? He's probably one or two or three proper positive male role models that I have. Do you know what I mean? Coming from the background that I had, I didn't have a dad growing up, and just someone who I've been able to meet, who I can relate to, and just go forward. Do you know what I mean? And he's honest to me. You know what I mean? He doesn't blow smoke up my backside, or doesn't give me that. He tells me when I ask him questions, he'll give me the honest answer, whether he knows I'm going to like it or not. And I speak to him on a daily basis, and it's not just about football. I'll talk to him about life. When Mrs. told me she was pregnant with my kids, I was on to him because he'd already had kids. I was like, gee, look, I need advice. So, you know, to me, he's family. He'll always be family, and I'll always hold him in the highest regard, and I wouldn't let anyone talk bad about him in front of me. So
it looked as if it was going to be Spain and Yugoslavia were going to go through. We couldn't see that we had to win the match. That was the only way we'd qualify. We had to win the match. And the day before, we were finished training, had our lunch, and then we were allowed to sit by the pool and sunbathe and swim for an hour before we went into siesta. And the boys were all lying by the pool, and Martin, the captain, called everybody over and said, right lads, he says, come on in. And he said, I've been thinking about the game. He said, you know what it's going to be like. The fans are going to get behind Spain. They're going to come at us, they're going to throw everything at us. They're the host nation. He said, so we'll do what we're good at. We'll defend for the first 20-25 minutes, and then gradually we'll get into the game, and we'll get 2, 3, 4 chances. We only need to put one of them away. We'll stick one of them away, we'll beat them 1-0. He said, that's how it's going to go. I thought, that sounds good to me, you know. But he never told me about Mal getting sent off. That was the other part he missed out. But, you know, the next day, it went exactly the same way. They put us under pressure, dominated the game, and Pat made a couple of great saves. The boy, Lopez Ufarte, little left winger, skipped past a couple and had a couple of shots, and Pat got down and made great saves. And then gradually we started getting at them, because the full-back Cordillo used to push forward all the time. Camacho was the captain, he was the right back, and he pushed on as well. And we started getting a little bit of joy, but it wasn't until the second half, 3-4 minutes into the second half, that I intercepted the pass from Gordillo and went on a run, and a couple of Spaniards tried to kick me, and I pushed it out the belly. Billy slapped his way past Tendillo. He just whacked him on the way past and got down the right hand side. And I was going to get into the box, and I thought, he ain't going to get a good ball in the box. Billy can't cross his legs. He's never put it across. I'll wait at the edge of the box. And he put in the best cross ever. He put a fantastic cross in. And of course, out came Arcanada, and he made a mistake coming for it, because there was already, I think it was Alasanko was in the box and Camacho was there. The two of them were there, and they got in each other's way, and he handled the ball and pushed it straight out to me. And I came on to it, kept my head down and hammered it hard and low, and it went through 2 sets of legs. The both players jumped. The goalkeeper spread himself, and I think Camacho put his leg up to block it, and it went under Camacho's leg and under Arganada's legs in the back of the net, and that was the only chance we got, and that was the goal.
2019 seen some really, really funny moments from a lot of our guests.
And I have to say, our funniest question, I think, has definitely had to become what is your favourite chippy in Northern Ireland?
Yeah, which introduced the insult from Trevor Carson calling Stephen Craig a big pasty. is a
Yeah.
personal favourite of mine.
That's probably the highlight of 2019, yeah.
So we have handpicked some of our funniest moments from across the podcast that you can watch now. Enjoy.
Hi, Ryan here. Jordan's room sounds like a superhero. If you were to be a superhero, which one would you be?
That must be the double J superhero.
Double J,
Superhero.
a superhero, yeah. Does sound a bit like how we have
Spider-Man. Is he a superhero?
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Superhero, yeah.
He is, man. Of course he is.
Oh, he's a superhero.
He's the only one who would come to mind. I mean,
Why Spider-Man?
I don't know that. I just know who Spider-Man is. Like, I don't know him, obviously. I just know him.
He doesn't know it.
Spider-Man.
What about you, Paul?
Superman.
Superman?
Superman?
Of course you want to fly, like. What do you mean? I think everyone wants to fly.
Right.
Never
I
seen
guess.
Superman. Ever.
Really?
Spider-Man is.
I'm walking again down the tunnel, exhausted. Guido Buchwald's in front of me, who was playing in the centre bar that night for Germany, was standing there and waiting to hand over the shirt. So I went, really, Guido? Take your full kit off. I want the full kit. he was laughing. I went, no, Guido, I am serious. You can have that, but I want the full German kit. Drop your kicks, get the socks off, give me that. So and he did. He loved it. So he gave me the full kit, and then we're just high-fiving and all the rest. I went, yeah, give me that. So I'm not sure I've still got it, but yeah. So I was.
We're having a hook around the loft.
It is, definitely.
So have you got loads of full kits rather than just the shirts?
Yeah.
Better reputation of it.
Well, after your header against Azerbaijan, we can expect maybe similar against Germany. Do you? Front post flick.
Just all you do is just like every night just send that clip of the nutmegs just to Michael O'Neill's phone, just WhatsApp it to him, just like every night for the next few months or whatever, and then boom, you're in the team.
As a defender, I think I need to get some clips on the That's the main thing.
That is the main thing.
So, music, guilty music pleasures.
Don't know if I want to admit this.
I'm a Bieber fan. I'm just going to throw it
Okay,
out
I
there.
don't know if you want to.
I think Demi wins this one.
I'm a Bieber fan.
I remember
I used to love him, not gonna lie.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah. I think yours begins with B too, doesn't it?
I'm a bit busted, like.
Well, I'll spice up your life with the Spice Girls.
To be honest, I'm not ashamed to admit it. Like, I like S Club 7, Busted, Bieber, Spice Girls, don't mind.
I think I've got a mixed playlist on iTunes or all that. Do we listen to her voice or Mike's voice?
I know.
So
Here.
I'd just like to introduce you to Northern Ireland.
Do you not think I could work on the radio? I'm like
Yeah, I
Pete
do,
Snodden
yeah.
behind this, aren't I?
Yeah, yeah.
Welcome to Cool FM.
Snap a song someday.
You've been bamboozled. You're tuning in to 97.4 Cool FM on the drive home.
And welcome to Kugel's Quiet.
And welcome to an ad break.
Just sit back, relax, and don't fall asleep at red lights.
Good morning, folks. You're on the air here with Simone McGill, taking you right through to lunchtime today.
Good morning, Vietnam.
No, seriously, where can I give my CV in for this?
Hello, Stephen. Warren McConnell here. If you could replace Chris Sutton with any other pundit, who would you tackle?
If I could replace Chris Sutton with anybody, that wouldn't really bother me. If I could replace one, who would I tackle? Oh.
Are we talking pundit across anything
Yeah,
here?
he's passing the
Any
buck, yeah,
any
he's
pundit?
I can't just say, honestly, that was, someone came and asked me a couple of weeks ago, listen, I get asked all the time, you think I'd never ever played football before, people don't remember the tackle. People don't remember tackling me on TV.
World's most famous tackle.
Yeah, with my clothes on. So they asked, guy said to me, what was it like to do that? I says, well, see whatever however good you think it would be. He said, yeah. I says, double it. That's how he said, wow, thanks. So I went, no problem.
It's a tough one. I have to be honest. I'm more a pizza man. If I, on the very rare occasion that I would
eat late at night, yeah, on the way home to the hotel, I would have normally a pizza. So
what would be the pizza? Like Domino's? Are you talking or?
No, I actually don't know the name of it, but there's a great little pizza place beside the Crown Bar.
Right.
Just
Little Italy.
Yeah, I think it is. Is it as you're going just that round from Sweet Afton round to maybe getting yourself across the Europa, and you feel like you need a little slice of pizza before you go to sleep. So that would be my fast food venue of choice.
Growing up in the humbling background in Cumber, we would always have had on a Saturday. We always had, fish and chip, but I had a chippy on a Saturday night. Mum, Dad, 2 brothers. I used to always have a pasty and chips. Now you come over here in Scotland and a pasty is something completely different. It's not something deep fried. You get it out of the. Still do pasties back home?
They do. They're not really pink anymore. I don't think.
No, I haven't had one for
cooked all the way through now.
I know I haven't had. I used to get one of them a steakette, which I got was just a lump of meat. The goodness was what it was, but it was just deep fat fried and amazing. So that was our choice. I know. I would just stick it in the frying pan and get on with it. So I would have said chippy certainly would have been my choice. A nice little chip shop. Well, I've been away since 1994, so I can't even tell you the last time I was in a chip shop in Northern Ireland. So I will say that there used to be 2 in Cumber. One Uncle Tom's in Cumber on Bridge Street. Was that Bridge Street? It was, and then there was Harry Fraser's. Was also another one. So that would have been our choice of chip shops in Cumber. So Harry Fraser's and Uncle Tom's. Anybody who's listening to this from Cumber will know back in the day Uncle Tom's and Harry Fraser's.
Pasty from there was a business.
Pasty from there was the answer. That was it on Saturday night.
If I was to treat myself, go a bit further afield, there's one in Dundonald called the Golden Chip. Outstanding. You'll never beat a better. Fish and chips for me all the way. Three or 4 bits of bread and butter, loads of salt and vinegar.
Jeez, 3 or 4 bits of bread.
Covered in red sauce. That's me.
That's proper.
That's usually when I'm playing. Saturday night's our treat night, me and my missus and the kids, and when it's my turn to pick, it's usually, if she picks, it's pizza, but if it's my turn, it'll be fish and chip, like up the chip. There's a wee place up in Motherwell called Pluto's. It's really, really good, and when it's my turn to pick, it's fish and chips. I just love it.
Are you getting fish and chips, or are you getting something different?
No, I'm getting fish and chips.
Fish and chips, you're sticking to the original.
Yeah, 100%. You can't go to a fish and chip shop and get battered sausage.
Well, Stephen Craigan was a pasty man. Yeah.
That's because he is a big pasty, Craig.
I have gone up a few chimneys. Favourite cafe fish. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love it. I think I'm that regular now. I get Moby Dick on a plate. It's unbelievable. I absolutely love it.
Brilliant. So is that what you're getting every time, man?
I get it every time without fail. Just my fish supper. It was the one thing I missed when I went in. It wasn't the same. It just wasn't the same. At Liverpool in the reserves, when I started in the reserves, you had 3 choices after an away game. It was fish and chips, chicken or chips, or pie and chips. That was back in the day. So I often went for fit, and it was horrendous. Horrendous. They can't make a fish supper. There's no way. So when I came home, straight, and because of where the location, the offices were, cafe fish.
Straight over the
class.
Fish.
Loved it.
His favourite chippy in Northern Ireland, if you have one, obviously.
Donny's chippy.
There we go, straight.
Bloomfield Estate.
So
Unbelievable. Unbelievable chippy. What am I ordering? Goujon's supper. With curry sauce. Oh,
curry sauce.
It's out of this world. I do what the funny thing about it is the chippy was out the back of my nans, and I used to blast the ball every time up against the side of the fish and chip shop, and he used to come out and shout at me, and I never went away, and the only way he got me away, Donny, was give me a free chip. So he left, so I know what I was doing, yeah. But Donny's in Bloomfield Estate, if you're ever there or you're going past, stop in at Donny's. It's unbelievable.
So the Northern Ireland podcast for 2019 is finished. We've had a great time this year. And Andy, what has been your personal favourite?
My personal favourite, it's just been doing this podcast with you, Adam. You know, it's been a blessing, every single one of them.
That's nice. I wish I could say the same. Anyway, it's been incredible to think that it started with Michael O'Neill right back in January and finished with Stuart Dallas there in November. So Andy, you tell people how people can obviously listen back to our archive now?
Yeah, it's all just sitting there. You can listen to it on iTunes, Spotify and YouTube. If you just want to scroll through, you can listen to them all if you've missed one from across 2019.
So for one last time in 2019, we're going to have to finish with
Green and White Army! We nailed that one. It's took us all year, but I feel like we've nailed that.
See you next year then.
I see it.
See you, mate.
Armstrong! Northern Ireland has scored through Gerry Armstrong.
It's a good ball. The flag stays down. Heaney! Oh!
They scored again! It's Davis again! It's job done now.